In order to find the enemy who killed their mother, the twins end up befriending the eldest child of the Ichijo family by relying on their scores and suspicions. However, little do they know that the baby also has ulterior motives. The button their mother left them was actually torn from the baby's pajamas when he was a baby. So this party is actually a Hongmon Peninsula party for him and his mother, but the two brothers don't know. While the younger brother pulled Ichigo, the older brother also investigated the entire house. However, the room with the water pattern wallpaper was not found. Just as the brother was about to tell the incident to Gege, the barcode began to attack, showing that the brother had stolen their child's belongings, then asked the baby to take him home. Taking out the water, his younger brother, who looked exactly like his mother in pajamas, also panicked and unconsciously put his hand on his neck. 202 also started asking questions. Then the adoptive mother should have fastened the button on her neck. She wanted to stand up for her brother, but she asked her brother to take off his shirt and said that if he didn't have it, he wouldn't, making things difficult for each other again. The adoptive parents temporarily didn't know what to do. At this time, the older brother winked at his younger brother and asked him to pretend to return to the delayed time. Then, while the younger brother attracted everyone's attention, the older brother smiled and crawled under the table, took the kitchen knife came out of his body, on the table, then took it out from the pile of clothes on the ground, reached in and tried to cut the string of the necklace with the button. But at this moment, the child lost patience. The wonderful brother saw this and also breathed a sigh of relief, but the baby still refused to give up. He directly called his dog over, then took his pajamas for the dog to smell, then came back let it find something with a similar smell. Seeing this scene, his brother was frightened. Just as he was about to throw the button away, the dog discovered him first. Seeing this, his brother did not dare to move. Seeing that the two were twins, he wanted to hug his younger brother. Before someone else lifted the tablecloth, he admitted that he had stolen the buttons. He said that when he went to the bathroom, he found that the button was very cute. It's so beautiful that you can't help but take it and walk away. While talking, the younger brother also asked his older brother to take back the button. Ichijo's mother saw that and threatened his adoptive father and adoptive mother about the tutoring issue. Just like that, the younger brother in the Ichijo house was locked in a secret room. The baby also took a bowl of dog food and stuffed it into his younger brother's mouth. What happened? Turns out he lost the button 8 years ago. At the time, she searched all over the house but could not find it. So he wanted to find out what his brother was hiding, but his brother didn't bother to say nonsense to him and just spit out the dog food. Jianbei also believes that his younger brother must be re-educated, and his brother also hides in the cabinet waiting for a chance to be rescued. After the baby left, his brother also took action. But his younger brother said he would stay here, so that big brother could take the opportunity to investigate this family. After all, Dijki didn't know there were two of them, so as long as he stayed here, they would warn them sense. Down low, but the main reason is that they don't want to be betrayed by his big brother. Look what you look like now. The older brother suddenly remembered that this house seemed to be the only house whose history he had not yet investigated, so he asked his younger brother to look at the wallpaper in this room. The younger brother noticed that this was the room they lived in as children, and that traces of their childhood graffiti were still on it. Soon after, the younger brother discovered his mother's message on it. The younger brother's crime did not attract Ichijo, so the older brother had to temporarily hide. Ichijo's mother then entered the room and inserted the bottle directly into her brother's vagina. After that, the older brother also followed the Ichijo family every day, but did not hear any suspicious conversations. Even the detained younger brother was rarely mentioned. If the button is a clue left by their mother, then the murderer could be the baby. But at that time he was only 5 years old. How could he kill someone? Just as his brother was thinking about who was the murderer in this family of four, a figure suddenly appeared in his life. Just when his brother thought he had been exposed, his hands let go of his eyes. Miss. The person who came was the maid Agwan. It turned out that every Wednesday he would come to Ichijo's house to clean. Of course, he heard that his brother was left here, so he thought of this joke, and his brother also planned to take advantage of that. Agwan then quietly told him that Ichigo seemed to be hiding some terrible secret. Hearing that, Akwang immediately approached, showing that he had also discovered this. So the two planned to cooperate. Then, looking through the photo album, the brother also discovered something, finding his mother's voice in the reflection of the wine glass. But unfortunately, Agwan did not know the person in the photo, and could only tell from his outfit that he was probably the one helping at that time. But what Akwang was curious about was why this servant was so young, so it made sense to simultaneously recruit accomplices under 50 years old. So the two decided to go to the second floor to take a look, but Yaiji wouldn't let Agwan clean the second floor, so my brother gave Agwan a chance to be great. Then the two divided the work and cooperated, while the older brother was responsible for finding projects. Agwang is responsible for finding the peak. Before long, Agwang found a suspicious place. Logically speaking, it is easiest for dust to accumulate on the frame, but this painting does not have a single speck of dust. My brother, also a member of Yudiantong, immediately ran to research and successfully activated the mechanism. When the frame is rotated, a ladder is lowered from the closet. However, after seeing the items in the attic, both of them were very shocked. They did not expect that what was placed here was a complete model of the entire town, and in the model there were also people representing each family. Even A lives in the neighboring village. Hikaru has it too, and he's still in the same position as now, in Ichijo's house. My brother also found dozens of documents recording detailed information about each resident. The combination of these two things can only mean one thing, which is that a spy is watching the entire town. At this time, there was a noise downstairs. Clearly someone was coming home. Agwang quickly found a box and asked his brother to go in first. At night, after his brother got out of the box, he discovered that Agwang had gone somewhere. However, when he gently called Agwang with his arm, he accidentally kicked something under his feet. These twins are real. In order to find the enemy who killed his mother, he actually pretended to kiss his mother. The purpose was to test the suspect's reaction after seeing his mother. So in the end the murderer was successfully found, but the results made the two brothers unable to believe it. Just now the older brother told his younger brother the story he discovered in the attic, and the Ichijo family was monitoring the town. The younger brother came up with an idea. Using tricks, he would take the child to get Leaves' letter and get information from Ichijo's mother. Seeing this plan fail, the younger brother was also very shocked, but after only 2 seconds, the younger brother was happy again and decided to bet on his title as King of Imitation, and let himself become a child. So when Ichijo's mother arrived the next day, she saw the chicken destination and the barcode and told her brother that it wasn't for eating. Then, he taught his younger brother to play geography games. Jin saw this and knew that his plan was successful. After that, his self-hypnosis allowed him to completely enter the world of a child. At the same time, his brother also heard noises from the secret room, and mistakenly thought that Ichijo's mother was being abused. Looking through the door, I saw Ichijo's mother teaching his brother how to walk. Mr. Duong almost died laughing when he saw his younger brother babbling. His younger brother also blushed, so he decided to let him act. Then he successfully pretended to stand up and pretended his head was too heavy, unintentionally losing his composure balance and fall to the ground. Seeing her brother being so naughty, Ichijo's mother was also very shocked. She quickly ran to hug her brother's head, then saw him holding back the pain and not crying. Ichijo thought that his younger brother had been successfully brainwashed, so he told his younger brother that from now on he would be a member of the Ichijo family, and the secretary also came along with the song. A proud look. The next day, the younger brother also successfully sat at the Ichijo family's dining table, but he was the youngest, while the older brother hid under the dining table. Then the younger brother also acted like a child, stupid, and asked various questions, such as why is the spoon there, is that why everyone shares the same plate, etc. But Ichijo's mother also told the baby and sister that the younger brother is asking questions, and they should answer carefully to satisfy the younger brother's thirst knowledge. Hearing that, my brother asked even more difficult questions, such as why is her hair color different from everyone else's? Aren't they a family? Why isn't the baby called Junayan? Isn't he the eldest son in the family? Do you think you still wet the bed from time to time? Although Bank and Ichijo responded patiently, their legs couldn't help but tremble as if the strong older brother knew they were hiding something, and the baby finally couldn't bear it anymore. I felt like these questions weren't something a 5-year-old could ask, especially the fake smile on his little brother's face. He didn't look like a 5-year-old who wanted to hug his little brother, if that was the case. This happens continued and rushed to help his younger brother. In the previous post, my mother shared about the process of taking care of my brother and told him that the treatment was over, and he could go home tomorrow. After hearing this, the two brothers were frightened. In the end, they still hadn't found out who killed their mother, so the two brothers decided to start investigating. That night decided to let the devil play the role of mother and take turns testing the family's reactions. When Ichiba was reading a book in the office, he suddenly felt something. He looked up and saw that the door had opened at some point, then a dress was slowly stuffed through the door crack, then in Ichijo's surprised eyes, it turned into a woman. As for this person, his younger brother pretended to be cool, and based on a big pimple, he knew that he was definitely not the murderer, because if he were the murderer, he would definitely think it was a ghost and would be scared when he saw his mother. But not only was he not scared, he also hugged her warmly. Maybe their mother must be a rich person. But when it came to his lover, his brother suddenly thought of something. and next it was his turn to test his mother's greatness. Although Ichijo's mother's first reaction was fear, she quickly calmed down, thinking that her mother had returned to compete with him, and then ran directly out of the room. The two brothers also judged from his first reaction that he was the murderer. After all, that was not the reaction one should have when seeing a living person. However, what the brothers did not expect was that Ichijo's mother returned with another pair of scissors. So the two brothers had to run downstairs, but Ichijo's mother also chased after them from upstairs. She must have used scissors to expose every corner of the family. The two brothers, who were hiding under the sofa, were also very scared. Fortunately, at the critical moment, Yi became and stopped Yi from picking him up, but my mother refused to put up a warning and asked Yi, why did I have to act in that scene? However, just as Ichijo was explaining, Ichijo saw a fantastic figure running away through the scissors. At the same time, the baby also heard a noise downstairs, so he walked out of the room to pass by him, but as soon as he walked out, he bumped into the building. He was also scared and fell straight to the ground. The baby also slowly walked to the ground. The two brothers thought that the baby had seen through the truth, but they did not expect that the baby was so scared that he peed his pants after seeing the figure clearly. Looking at the baby's reaction, they knew he was the one who murdered their mother, but the two brothers couldn't believe the results. After all, the baby was only 5 years old when their mother was killed. The next day, the two brothers also returned to their adoptive parents' house, making their adoptive mother extremely happy. What happened? Let a male student disguise as a female forcefully kiss a male student. What happened to cause the once harmonious twins to become enemies? Welcome to the large-scale documentary Crazy Twins Revenge for Their Mother. It turns out that because the twins take turns testing their partners, they only react to ghosts as children. There was no doubt that their mother was dead, possibly a murder. But the child was only 5 years old when his mother died. How could a 5-year-old child kill someone? So to find out the truth, the older brother asked his younger brother to go to school with peace of mind. Leave the baby matter to him. The next day, the older brother put on a wig, disguised himself as a woman, and sneaked into school again. At this time, his classmates were also asking the child what kind of girls and boys he liked. Hearing this question, he suddenly remembered the maid he saw last night, quickly made an excuse to leave town, then went to the bathroom and vomited. Regarding this issue, the baby couldn't help but sigh. Fortunately, he reacted quickly, otherwise the perfect image he always created would be destroyed. However, this scene was seen by his brother. The strong child quickly warned him not to tell anyone about his shame, but his brother did not listen and turned around and ran away. He quickly kicked out. During the chase, his brother's disguise was almost exposed. But fortunately, the older brother reacted quickly and successfully protected his wig. At the same time, the baby also took out a dozen banknotes as silent money, but the older brother smashed the mountain of banknotes away and told me that if you don't want to tell me, then tell me, exchange it for something even more humiliating. Helpless, the baby had no choice but to agree, but neither of them paid attention to the standards on the ground. The baby then shows his brother his childhood photos and asks him to review his dark past. My brother also discovered through photos that on the 24th, the baby's clothes were unbuttoned. On the 25th, the baby's clothes suddenly lost a button. The baby's mother accidentally shared photo information with her around Christmas, so her brother kept the photo as evidence but told the baby that the hush money was not enough for him to tell some embarrassing things about her when she was young. After speaking, he took the photo and left. But the older brother did not know that his actions actually made the baby happy. After doing so, he also asked everywhere about this matter, but he searched all over the school but could not find his brother. At the same time, the younger brother also found a fragment of the necklace that his older brother dropped in the hallway. After returning home, my brother also told us about this discovery, saying that his goddess had finally returned to see her. The older brother was also panicked, and hastily told his younger brother that this was impossible because Sally had gone to a town very far away. However, his younger brother did not give up, and immediately drew a series of portraits of the goddess and post to Facebook page school. My brother couldn't help but laugh after seeing it, because the painting was too abstract and he thought his brother wouldn't be able to find him. However, his eyes relied on his understanding of his younger brother to find features in his various abstract paintings. Because the teacher my brother drew before had the same hair as Sally, that is, Sally had straight black hair like the teacher, and her eyes were drawn very similar to her brother's, so the glasses were taken off out and do it again. Based on these characteristics, Sally's appearance was indeed restored, and even looking at her, she couldn't help but chuckle. After seeing it, the classmates realized that this was the girl the child had been looking for recently. When his younger brother heard that, he was immediately worried, so he followed the child into the classroom. The child also intended to tell his older brother his storied childhood, but I haven't said a few words yet. The younger brother suddenly rushed in. The older brother also panicked when he saw this scene. The younger brother did not give any explanation, just pulled the older brother and tried to leave the baby behind. Of course it was different. The two refused to do so, admitting defeat, had a big fight on the spot with his brother. The brother really gave in. In order not to give up, the younger brother interfered with his plan and escaped from him. On the weekend, the brother came. Using the excuse of going on a date to the baby's house, Ms. Cui intended to use it to study in the book, ask the baby what happened on Christmas Day, and this trick. She also tested it on the underground body, and the effect is very good, but the baby only needs to lie down to achieve it. So after my brother learned a lesson from baby, Piccolo had to lie in bed, but baby, a straightforward person, said he didn't need to sleep, and even took the alarm clock to wake up his brother. "I'll wake up in 10 minutes. My brother was really convinced, so he told the baby that he couldn't sleep without someone lying next to him. Unexpectedly, she took a bunch of dolls and placed them next to each other. There was no other way. The eldest brother had to unbutton his shirt, giving a clearer signal. Urk could push his brother away and scold him for being obscene and vulgar. The older brother is such a person. He started bullying even before they signed a contract with their lover. In this way, your brother successfully helped the baby lie down and urged him, but before you could ask him what happened on Christmas Day, your reluctant brother could not find you. Having no other choice, the older brother had to open the window to tell his younger brother that he had important things to do now, but the younger brother took out something that couldn't be repaired and said that he really liked it. Sally had no choice but to give up like that, asking her brother if he wanted it. He didn't want to take it back again, but just when his brother was about to refuse, the baby came and pushed his brother away home window. The older brother was really convinced and then angrily asked the boy what he was doing. "Do you really want to kill your brother?" But what does the baby seem to remember? Because the feeling when it first came out was exactly the same as when he was 5 years old. He later realized that that wasn't the reason he rolled down the window as a child. It turned out that for Christmas 8 years ago, the twins' mother originally wanted to pretend to be Santa Claus and give the babies. It's unexpected, but this dress is a bit conservative. The baby also took it for granted and got used to it, so he pressed the button directly towards the window, at which point it was ripped off his clothes. The babies also panicked afterwards, but when he found his mother, she told him that there was nothing there, and also told the boy that there were no blonde people in their village. What he saw was just a stork, but he had no idea that the stork he pushed down was being pulled away and other children's songs played. This also identifies One Piece as the murderer. But just as he broke the news to his friend, and was about to take revenge on the baby, he discovered that something was wrong with his brother.